How's it going, everybody? Turns out the last campaign for Amino was quite a success, so they offered to sponsor another video. If you were still on the fence about joining one of the hundreds of different communities, here's another chance. Obviously, the For Honor Amino is what you should check out first. You'll find many different kinds of posts, ranging from guides to balanced discussions, or like I mentioned before, my favourite, all the different types of fan art. My AMA chat is also still going strong, so feel free to drop by and ask questions, either game related or otherwise. You can find Amino on both Android as well as iOS. The app is free and the download link can be found in the video description. Feel free to follow me on the For Honor Amino. My username is Freeze. Hope to see you there. The topic for today's video is the overhauled UI in the new event game mode. You might have noticed it yourself, but the Assassini e Templari game mode features a slightly altered UI. I don't know whether this is the final version of what they've cooked up, but it's easy to spot the differences. I'm not going to go over the specific changes. I want to give my 2 cents on what still needs to be improved. Let me say that I definitely think that this version of the UI is an improvement over the old one. No one's gonna miss the skulls popping up in the middle of your screen when breaking. Absolutely no one. With that said, I think some of the changes are neat but fail to grasp why changes had to be made in the first place. The main thing which every change should be built around is that none of the combat relevant visual indicators should be obstructed or hidden by the UI or any other clutter. And sadly, this new AI still fails at this fundamental thing. I will go over 2 things to highlight this. The new bar at the top of your screen immediately pops into your focus. That thing is new and probably their attempt to condense information into a small space to save screen real estate. First problem is its positioning. The fact that an UI is basically an overlay put on top of your normal game implies that it can block stuff. And that's exactly what it's doing. Depending on the environment you fight in, the main difference here being open spaces or close quarters, the camera can zoom in or out. And when zoomed in, both top indicators as well as the whole HP bar can be blocked out. This is especially apparent when guard breaking someone. This is also a critical moment when you double check your opponent's HP and stamina values to decide what to do next. Of course you should keep an eye on these values throughout the fights, but even if you've done that, the moment they are obstructed, people will doubt themselves. Well, I'm pulling arguments out of my ass here, but the fact remains that an HP bar that I can't see in a game where it should be visible is a major UI flaw. Well, that's not my only gripe with our new bar. Look at the rest of the UI on the screen. Feats, minimap, scoreboard. Notice something? Yeah, these parts of the UI are transparent. Well, for the most part. Now take a look at our new top bar. Exactly. Not transparent. At the very least, give us an opacity slider to adjust it ourselves if you insist to put it right there in the middle, Yubi. I'm not saying to move it, but I'll get to that in just a second. The bar's placement plays a major role why it's so intrusive. Knowing that, measures to lighten its impact should be an absolute priority. The idea of it is a good one, the implementation seems a little lacking. Which brings us to my second major issue. Text in the middle of the screen, for whatever reason. There is still a plethora of different messages that pop up during a match, of varying sizes and of varying importance. But ask yourself the question, is any of this information important enough that it needs to be right in the middle with big flashing effects around it? I don't think so. Some of them are literally completely useless and serve no purpose whatsoever, while others, like the break-in message for example, can do with a proper audio cue. But even if UB absolutely insists on displaying these various messages, what about this? There's this completely empty space on the screen that is currently used for absolutely nothing. How about we make good use of that and put all the bloodthirsty, shutdown, etc. messages up there? It's such an obvious choice, I don't know what to say. Alright, let's leave the UI changes for now and focus again on the main issue that I brought up at the very beginning. There shouldn't be anything on my screen that blocks the visual information of combat. So what the fuck is this? Why is there a huge floating plus sign on my screen? Obviously I've positioned myself like this on purpose to make my point, but what is the fucking purpose of that floating thing while I'm already in the circle? I totally understand that things like healing zones or buffs that you can pick up Need some visual indicator to see from afar, but why doesn't it go away when I'm standing inside of it already? The same goes for all interactable objects on a map, be that levers, ballista or revivable teammates. Why does it need to shine a bright light into my eyes when I go near it? There's a huge floating button and a beacon of light in my team colour. Why the need for additional visual clutter? My point here is that the UI doesn't stop with the static overlay, but the dynamic little icons that appear throughout the match are also of great importance. It is crucial that information is displayed in a precise yet subtle manner. Don't try and distract me from more important things. If something happens that I absolutely need to know about, then give it a proper icon somewhere around my screen, but don't launch fireworks and turn on the sirens if someone is on a kill streak or fell down the stairs. Ubi certainly made a step in the right direction with this, but in my opinion they are far from done. I hope I got you guys to think about it a little. I obviously exaggerated a little to get my points across, but nonetheless, I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.